Do you know that we have people in different generations and different age groups?
Which age groups and generations are those?
We have people who are in Generation Z. We have people who are millennials. We have people who are in Generation X. We have people who are Boomers 1, Boomers 2.
Yes.
We have the post-war people, and we have the World War IIs.
Okay, talk about Generation Z.
Generation Z are people who are born between 1997 and 2012. They are between 11 and 26 years. These people are digitally astute and they grew up with smartphones and social media. What do you think?
If you know you are between 11 and 26 years and you are digitally illiterate, just know you are in a wrong world.
Yeah, you are in a wrong world. These people in Generation Z, they don't know that there once existed very powerful phones like Nokia 3310,
Yes.
Siemens, Sagem, Motorola, and others, of all which were button phones. Generation Z member knows that the word Kanda Bongoman is the name of a certain witch doctor, not knowing that at one time this person was a powerful musician across Africa and in the world. Generation Z members are the most indisciplined generation ever to exist. So if you are 11 to 26 years, just know that you are a member of Generation Z.
Let's talk about millennials.
Millennials are people who are born between 1981 and 1996, and their ages ranges between 28 to 43 years. This is the most brightest and informed age group in the history of mankind.
Yes.
What do you think?
Millennials is a generation which evolved from theories, analog, less technology, and moved to digital world.
Yes, millennials are people who can relate and vibe with what trended in the 80s and also relate and vibe with what is trending now. Millennials know what a telephone booth was and a smartphone. Millennials know what a post office was and WhatsApp as means of communication. This is the latest, most disciplined generation. So if you are between 28 and 43 years, just know that you are a millennial.
Yes. Now, talk about Generation X.
Generation X is the most disciplined generation. They were born between 1965 and 1980, and their ages ranges between 44 and 59 years. Most of these people in this generation were born after the independence of most African countries. And afterwards, their parents had to instill colonial kind of discipline to this generation. What do you think?
This generation constructed a bridge between analog and digital.
Yes, that is why there came up things like YouTube, Google, Amazon, Wikipedia, and also Elon Musk is from this generation who created Tesla and so on. So if you are between 44 and 59 years, just know that you are Generation X.
Yes. Now, talk about Boomers too.
Boomers 2 is a generation which was born between 1955 and 1964, and their ages ranges between 60 to 69 years. And they were born many in numbers to spike the population after losing many lives during the World War II. What do you think?
Boomers 2 is a generation which reached maturity between 1972 and 1979.
Yes, they reached maturity between 1972 and 1979. Boomers 2 is a generation which popularized the use of newspapers and listening to BBC as means of getting news. They came up with many companies and industries, and in US, the Boomers 2 generation, they have the voting power.
Yes.
So if you are between 60 to 69 years, you are in the Boomers 2 generation.
Yes. Let's talk about Boomers 1.
Boomers 1 is a generation which was born between 1946 and 1954, and their ages ranges between 70 to 78 years. These people are similar to Boomers 2. So when you put them together, they make a largest generation after the millennials. What do you think?
This generation has a significant impact to the economies.
Yes, this generation is economically powerful, politically influential kind of people around the world. So if you are between 70 and 78 years, you are in Boomers 1 generation.
Yes. Talk about post-wars generation.
The post-war generation is a generation which was born between 1928 and 1945. And their ages ranges between 79 and 96 years. These are people who were born after the war, during the economic depression, and they were few in population.
Yes.
What do you think?
In this generation, people being few in population, opportunities were many, so they had to utilize them very well.
Yes, so most powerful, influential, and rich people around the world are from this generation, especially in the US. So if you are between 79 and 96 years, you are in the generation post-wars.
Talk about the World War II.
The World War IIs are the generation of people who are born between 1922 and 1927, and their ages ranges between 97 and 102 years. These people were born during hardship around the world, and they are known as the greatest generation. In US alone, there are 63 million. They have seen a lot of things around this world, like the World War II, the Great Depression, the Watergate scandal, Vietnam War, and many other things around the world. This is the greatest generation which helped to shape the world. So if you are between 97 years and 102 years, you are in the greatest generation, the World War IIs.
Yes.